Are we good? I think we're good. I heard a beep. Am I connected now? I will see. I am. There we go. I will. I are connected. So, now I think I'm good to go. I think I'm good to go. Yay! Okay. I don't know why I was having problems, but I was. It is what it is. Let's see. Title. Change the title. Save it. And share it out. Oh, Flubbermaster. Go to the video. So how's everybody doing today? I am. Share it. Okay. Tweet. Tweet. So, I don't know how long Christian's going to be doing this, but hey, we'll figure it out as we go along, I guess. Let's see here. Okay, I am this person, that person. Yay, okay. Sorry about this. I'm using this Restream, and, book club. There we go. Yay, gotta figure it out. I don't have my headphones on either, so I don't know if my audio is funky or what. And who am I missing? And there we go. That's who I was missing. Yay! So if nope, mute that. There we go. So there we go. We're live. It's alive. It's alive. I've just used my speaker for my the thingy right now. So I don't know how's my audio coming through. Is it coming through okay? I guess it helps if I actually have the chat on. And made it so that I was actually looking at the other chats. I'm going to be doing some drawing or messing with the Blender. I haven't quite figured out yet. But got my drawing on. And I got my my drawing program on. Open a new document and all that kind of fun stuff. And we're gonna go down to my palette. Palette. There it is. Because I moved it. Of course. And kids, don't move your stuff to and then forget to open it up again because the shortcuts won't work. Palettes. Where did I put it? Palette. My color palette. With the new rules, I figure this stuff is all too bright and could be misconstrued as child attractive, and with all those new rules there, it's going to be a problem and stuff like that. And it's not. Whoever wants to create things, this is a big problem for people. But anyway, what do you do? It is what it is. I am going to start up the book now, and we'll get to drawing. You know what? I might just do up a 2D animation drawing. Oh, there we go. Need to do undo. There we go. And do that while we listen. So let's get us back up. Hey, Critical Triple, how you doing? Nice to see ya. I was just gonna mute and get the book going. Can you hear me very well? I am using the mic for my speakers, or I'm using the mic from my camera. Man, that just broke my brain. Sleepy. Lullaby. Excuse me. I'm sure I'm not helping. I sound slightly distant. Yeah. Okay, I'll switch it to be back on for my headphones after. Well, I have to set up the volume and stuff again, so I'll probably do that next time. Okay. Sounds good. I learned. So, fall asleep to the naughtiness of Canterbury Tales.
This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For further information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Joshua Young. homepages.nyu.edu/RJY201. The Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. Edited by D. Lang Pers. This reading is based on the book The Canterbury Tales and Other Poems. The original text contains poems by Chaucer and a lot of notes and explanations by the editor. To view these, please click on the Gutenberg e-text on the LibriVox catalog page of The Canterbury Tales. The Canon's Yeoman's Tale. With this canon I dwelt have 7 year, and of his science am I near the near. All that I had I have lost thereby, and, God wot, so have many more than I. Where I was wont to be right fresh and gay of clothing and of other good array, now may I wear on hose upon mine head, and where my colour was both fresh and red, now is it wan and of a leaden hue. Whoso it useth, sore shall he it rue. And of my swink yet bleared is mine eye. Lo, what advantages to multiply! That sliding science hath me made so bare, that I have no good, where that ever I fare, and yet I am indebted so thereby of gold, that I have borrowed truly, that, while I live, I shall it quite never. Let any man beware by me for ever. What manner man that casteth him thereto, if he continue, I hold his thrift y-do. So help me God, thereby shall he not win, but empty his purse, and make his wits thin. And when he, through his madness and folly, hath lost his own good through juparty, then he exciteth other men thereto, to lose their good, as he himself hath do. For unto shrews joy it is and ease to have their fellows in pain and disease. Thus was I ones learned of a clerk. Of that no charge I will speak of our work. When we be there as we shall exercise our elvish craft, we seem wonder wise, our terms be so clergial and quaint. I blow the fire till that mine heart faint. Why should I tell in each proportion of things which that we work upon, as on 5 or 6 ounces may well be of silver or some other quantity? And busy me to tell you the names, as orpiment, burt bones, iron squams, that into powder ground be full small, and in an earthen pot how put is all, and salt ye put in, and also pepper, before these powders that I speak of here, and well ye cover with a lamp of glass, and of much other thing which that there was, and of the pots and glasses in gluttning, that of the air might passen out no thing, and of the easy fire and smart also, which that was made, and of the care and woe that we had in our matters subliming, and in amalgaming and calcining of quicksilver called mercury crude. For all our sleights we cannot conclude our orpiment and sublimed mercury, our ground litharge, eke on the porphyry of each of these of ounces a certain, not helpeth us, our labour is in vain, nor neither our spirit's ascension, nor our matters that lie all fixed down, may in our working nothing us avail, for lost is all our labour and travail, and all the cost, a 20 devil way, is lost also which we upon it lay. There is also full many another thing that is unto our craft appertaining, though I by order them not rehearse can, because that I am a lewd man. Yet will I tell them as they come to mind, although I cannot see them in their kind, as sal, armoniac, verdigris, borass, and sundry vessels made of earth and glass, our urinals and our descennaries, phials and crosslets and sublimatories, cucurbites and alembics eke, and other such, dear enough a leak, it needeth not for to rehearse them all. Waters rubifying and bull's gall, arsenic, sal armoniac, and brimstone, and herbs could I tell eke many a one, as egremoine, valerian, and lunary, and other such, if that me list to tarry, our lamps burning both night and day to bring about our craft, if that we may. Our furnace eke of calcination, and of water's albification, unslaked lime, chalk, and glaire vanille, powders diverse, ashes, dung, piss, and clay, seared poquettes, saltpetre, and vitriol, and divers fires made of wood and coal, salt tartar, alkali, salt preparate, and combust matters, and coagulate, clay made with horse and man's hair, and oil of tartar, alum, glass, barm, wort, argoil, rosselgar, and other matters imbibing. And eke of our matters incorporing, and of our silver citrination, our cementing and fermentation, our ingots, tests, and many things mo. I will tell you, as was me taught also, the 4 spirits, and the bodies 7, by order, as oft I heard my lord them neven. The first spirit quicksilver called is, the second orpiment, the third he was sal armoniac, and the 4th brimstone. The bodies 7 eke, lo them here anon. Sol gold is, and Luna silver we thrip. Mars iron, Mercury quicksilver we clip, Saturnus lead, and Jupiter is tin, and Venus copper by my father's kin. This cursed craft whoso will exercise, he shall no good have that met him suffice, for all the good he spendeth thereabout, he lose shall. Thereof have I no doubt. Whoso that list to utter his folly, let him come forth and learn to multiply. And every man that hath aught in his coffer, let him appear and wax a philosopher, whilscunce that craft is so light to lear. Nay, nay, God wot, all be he monk or frere, priest or canon, or any other wight, though he sit at his book both day and night, in learning of this elvish nice lore, all is in vain, and pretty much more is to learn a lewd man this subtlety. Fie, speak not thereof, for it will not be. And con he letterer, or con he none, as in effect he shall it find all one. For both two, by my salvation, concluden in multiplication. Alike well, when they have all ye do, this is to say, they fail both two. Yet forgot I to make rehearsal of waters corrosive, and of the mile, and of bodies' mollification, and also of their induration, oils, ablutions, metal fusible, to tell in all would pass in any Bible, that where is wherefore, as for the best, of all these names now will I me rest. For, as I trow, I have you told enough to raise a fiend, all look he ne'er so rough. Ah, nay, let be, the philosopher's stone, elixir called. We seek fast each one, for had we him, then were we sicker enow. And unto God of heaven I make a vow, for all our craft, when we have all ye do, and all our sleight, he will not come us to. He made us spend much good, for sorrow of which almost we waxed wood, but that good hope creeped in our heart, supposing ever, though we sore smart, to be relieved by him afterward. Such supposing and hope is sharp and hard. I warn you well, it is to seeken ever. That future temps hath made men dissever, in trust thereof, from all that ever they had. Yet of that art they cannot wax sad, for unto them it is bitter sweet. So seemeth it, for had they but a sheet, which that they might wrap them in at night, and a brat to walk in by daylight, they would them sell, and spin it on this craft. They cannot stint, until no thing be laughed. And evermore, wherever that they gon, men may them know by smell of brimstone, for all the world they stinken as a goat. Their savour is so ramish and so hot, that though a man a mile from them be, the savour will infect him, trust me. Lo thus, by smelling and threadbare array, if that men list, this folk they know may. And if a man will ask them privily, why they be clothed so unthriftily, they right anon will run out in his ear, and sayn, if that they espied were, men would them slay, because of their science. Lo, thus these folk betrayen innocence. Pass over this, I go my tale unto. Ere that the pot be on the fire y do, of metals, with a certain quantity, my lord them tempers, and no man but he. Now he is gone, I dare say boldly, for as men say, he can do craftily. I'll gate, I wot well he hath such a name, and yet full oft he runneth into blame. And know ye how, full oft it happeneth so, the pot to breaks, and farewell, all is go. These metals be of so great violence, our walls may not make them resistance. But if they were wrought of lime and stone, they pierce so, that through the wall they gon, and some of them sink down into the ground. Thus have we lost by times many a pound. And some are scattered all the floor about, some leap into the roof without doubt. Though that the fiend not in our sight him show, I trow that he be with us, that shrew, in hell, where that he is lord and sire. Is there no more woe, rancor, nor ire? When that our pot is broke, as I have said, every man chides, and holds him evil apaid. Some said it was long on the fire making, some said nay, it was on the blowing. Then was I feared, for that was mine office. Straw, quoth the third, ye be lewd and nice, it was not tempered, as it ought to be. Nay, quoth the fourth, stent and hearken me, because our fire was not y made of beech, that is the cause, and other none, so that I cannot tell whereon it was along. But well I wot great strife in us among. What? Quoth my lord, there is no more to doen. Of these perils I will beware of soon. I am right sicker that the pot was crazed. Be as be may, be ye no thing amazed. As usage is, let the sweep the floor as swith. Pluck up your hearts and be glad and blithe. The mullock on a heap he sweeped was, and on the floor he cast a canvas. And all this mullock in a sieve he throw, and sifted, and he picked many a throw. Pardy, quoth one, somewhat of our metal, yet is there here though that we have not all. And though this thing mishap hath as now, another time it may well be enow. We must put our good in adventure. A merchant party may not endure. Trust me well, in his prosperity. Sometimes his good is drenched in the sea, and sometimes comes it safe unto land. Peace, quoth my lord. The next time I will fand to bring our craft all in another plight. And but I do, sirs, let me have the white. There was default in somewhat, well I wot. Another said the fire was over hot, but be it hot or cold, I dare say this, that we conclude nevermore amiss. We fail alway of that which we would have, and in our madness evermore we rave. And when we be together every one, every man seemeth a Solomon. But all thing which that shineth as the gold, it is not gold, as I have heard it told. Nor every apple that is fair at eye, it is not good, whatso men clap or cry. Right so, lo, fareth it among us. He that the wisest seemeth by Jesus is most fool, when it cometh to the and he that seemeth truest is a thief. That shall ye know, ere that I from you wend, by that I of my tale have made an end. There was a canon of religion among us, would infect all a town, though it is as great were as was Nineveh, Rome, Alessandra, Troy, or other three. His sleights, and his infinite falseness, there could no man written, as I guess, though that he might live 1,000 year, in all this world of falseness is his peer. For in his terms he will him so wind, and speak his words in so sly a kind, when he commune shall with any wight, that he will make him doubt anon aright. But if a fiend be, as himself is, full many a man hath he beguiled ere this, and will, if that he may live any while. And yet men go and ride many a mile, him for to seek, and have his acquaintance, not knowing of his false governance. And if you list to give me audience, I will it tell here in your presence. But, worshipful canons religious, ne deem not that I slander your house, although that my tale of a canon be. Of every order some shrew is party, and God forbid that all a company should rue a singular man's folly. To slander you is no thing mine intent, but to correct that is amiss I meant. This tale was not only told for you, but eke for other more. Ye wot well how that amongs Christ's apostles 12 there was no traitor but Judas himself. Then why should all the remnant have blame, that guiltless were? By you I say the same, save only this, if ye will hearken me. If any Judas in your convent be, remove him betimes. You read. If shame or loss may cause in any dread, and be no thing displeased, I pray you. But in this case hearken what I say. In London was a priest, in Unalure, that therein dwelled had many a year, which was so pleasant and so serviceable unto the wife, whereas he was at table, that she would suffer him no thing to pay for board nor clothing, when he ne'er so gay, and spending silver had he right enow, thereof no force will proceed as now, and tell forth my tale of the canon that brought this priest to confusion. This false canon came upon a day unto the priest's chamber where he lay, beseeching him to lend him a certain of gold, and he would quitten him again. Lend me a mark, quoth he, but days 3, and at my day I will it quite thee. And if it so be that thou find me false, another day hang me up by the halse. This priest him took a mark, and that as swithe, and this canon him thanked him often sithe, and took his leave, and went forth his way, and at the 3rd day brought his money. And to the priest he took his gold again, whereof this priest was wondrous glad and fain. Certes, quoth he, nothing annoyeth me, to lend a man a noble or 2 or 3, or what thing were in my possession, when he so true is of condition, that in no wise he break will his day. To such a man I never can say nay. What? Quoth this canon, should I be untrue? Nay, that were thing y fallen all of new. Truth is a thing that I will ever keep, unto the day in which that I shall creep into my grave, and else God forbid, Believe this as sicker as your creed. God thank I, and in good time be it said, That there was never man yet evil apaid For gold or silver that he to me lent, Nor ever falsehood in mine heart I meant. And, sir," quoth he, "now of my privity, Since ye so goodly have been unto me, And give to me so great gentleness Somewhat to quit with your kindness, I will you shew, and if you list to lear, I will you teach plainly the manner How I can worken in philosophy. Take good heed, ye shall well see at eye That I will do a mastery ere I go." "Yea?" quoth the priest. "Yes, sir. And will ye so?" "Marry, thereof I pray you heartily." "At your commandment, sir, truly," quoth the canon, "And else God forbid, lo, how this thief could his service bed." Full sooth it is that such proffered service Stinketh, as witness these old wise, And that full soon I will it verify In this canon, root of all treachery, That evermore delight had and gladness Such fiendly thoughts in his heart impress, How Christe's people he may to mischief bring. God keep us from his false dissimuling. What wist this priest with whom that he dealt? Nor of his harm coming he nothing felt. O silly priest, O silly innocent, With covetise anon thou shalt be blent. O graceless, full blind is thy conceit, For nothing art thou aware of the deceit Which that this foxy shapen hath to thee. His wily wrenches thou not mayest flee. Wherefore, to go to the conclusion That referreth to thy confusion, Unhappy man, anon I will me hie To tell thine unwit and thy folly, And eke the falseness of that other wretch, As far forth as that my conning will stretch. This canon was my lord, ye would ween, Sir host, in faith, and by the heaven's queen, It was another canon, and not he, The can an hundredfold more subtlety. He hath betrayed folks many a time. Of his falseness it doloth me to rhyme, And ever when I speak of his false head, For shame of him my cheeks wax red. All gates they begin for to glow, For redness have I none, right well I know, In my visage for fumes diverse Of metals, which ye have me heard rehearse, Consumed have and wasted my redness. Now take heed of this canon's cursedness. "Sir," quoth he to the priest, "let your man gon For quicksilver, that we it had anon, And let him bring ounces 2 or 3, And when he comes, as fast shall ye see A wondrous thing which ye saw ne'er ere this." "Sir," quoth the priest, "it shall be done y wis." He bade his servant fetch him this thing, And he all ready was at his bidding, And went him forth, and came anon again With this quicksilver shortly for to sayn, And took these ounces 3 to the canon, And he laid them well and fair down, And bade the servant coals for to bring, That he anon might go to his working. The coals right anon weren y fit, And this canon he took a crosslet Out of his bosom, and showed it to the priest. "This instrument," quoth he, "which that thou seest, Take in thine hand, and put thyself therein, Of this quicksilver an ounce, and here begin, In the name of Christ, to wax a philosopher. There be full few which that I would proffer, To show them thus such of my science. For here shall ye see by experience, That this quicksilver I will mortify, Right in your sight, anon without lie, And make it as good silver and as fine As there is any in your purse, or mine, Or elsewhere, and make it malleable, And elles hold me false and unable Among folk for ever to appear. I have a powder here that cost me dear, Shall make all good, for it is cause of all my conning, Which that I you shew shall. Void your man, and let him be thereout, And shut the door, while we be about Our privity, that no man us espy, While that we work in this philosophy." All, as he bade, fulfilled was indeed. This eke servant right anon out yede, And his mastery shut the door anon, And to their labour speedily they gon. This priest, at this cursed canon's bidding, Upon the fire anon he set this thing, And blew the fire, and busied him full fast, And this canon unto the crosslet cast A powder, I know not whereof it was, Y made either of chalk, either of glass, Or somewhat else, was not worth a fly, To blinden with this priest, and bade him hie The coals for to couch and all above The crosslet, for in token I thee love. quoth this canon, thine own hands too shall work all thing that there shall be do. Grand mercy, quoth the priest, and was full glad, and coached the coals as the canon bade. And while he busy was, this fiendly wretch, this false canon, thou foul fiend, him fetch, out of his bosom took a breechen coal, in which full subtifly was made a hole, and therein put was of silver mail an ounce, and stopped was without fail. The hole was wax, to keep the mail in, and understand that this false gin was not made there, but it was made before. And other things I shall tell you more hereafterward, which that he with him be brought. Ere he came there, him to beguile he thought, and so he did, ere that they went wit, till he had turned him, could he not blin. It doleth me, when that I of him speak, of his falsehood fain would I me wreak, if I wist how, but he is here and there. He is so variant, he abides nowhere. But take heed, sirs, now for God's love. He took his coal, of which I spake above, and in his hand he bare it privily. And while the priest couched busily the coals, as I told you ere this canon said, "Friend, ye do amiss. This is not coached as it ought to be, but soon I shall amend in it," quoth he. "Now let me meddle therewith but a while, for of you have I pity, by Saint Gill. Ye be right hot, I see well how ye sweat. Have here a cloth, and wipe away the wet." And while that the priest wiped his face, this canon took his coal, with sorry grace, and laid it above on the midward of the crosslet, and blew well afterward, till that the coals began fast to brin. "Now give us drink," quoth this canon then, "and swith all shall be well, I undertake. Sit we down, and let us merry make." And when that this canon's breechen coal was burnt, all the mail out of the hole into the crosslet anon fell down. And so it must needs, by reason, since it above so even couched was. But thereof wist the priest no thing. Alas! He deemed all the coals alike good, for of the sleight he nothing understood. And when this alchemister saw his time, "Rise up, Sir Priest," quoth he, "and stand by me, and for I wot well in got have ye none. Go, walk forth, and bring me a chalk stone, for I will make it of the same shape that is in a got, if I may have hap. Bring eke with you a bowl, or else a pan, full of water, and ye shall well see then how that our business shall happen prive. And yet, for ye shall have no misbelieve, nor wrong conceit of me in your absence, I will not be out of your presence, but go with you, and come with you again." The chamber door shortly for to say, and they opened and shut, and went their way, and forthwith them they carried the key, and came again without any delay. "Why should I tarry all the long day? He took the chalk, and shaped it in the wise of an ingot, as I shall you devise. I say he took out of his own sleeve a tein of silver, evil may he chieve, which that he was but just an ounce of weight. And take heed now of his cursed sleight. He shaped his ingot in length and in brid of this tein without any dread, slow slyly that the priest it not espied, and in his sleeve again he gan it hide. And from the fire he took up his matter, and in the ingot put it with merry cheer, and in the water vessel he it cast, when that him list, and bade the priest as fast, "Look what there is. Put in thine hand and grope. There shalt thou find silver as I hope." What, devil of hell, should it else be? Shaving of silver, silver is, pardy. He put his hand in, and took up a tein of silver fine, and glad in every vein was this priest, when he saw that it was so. "God's blessing, and his mother's also, and all hallows have ye, Sir Canon," said this priest, "and I their malison. But an ye vouchsafe to teach me this noble craft and this subtlety, I will be yours in all that ever I may," quoth the canon. "Yet will I make assay this second time, that ye may take heed, and be expert of this, and in your need another day assay in mine absence this discipline and this crafty science. Let take another ounce," quoth he though, "of quicksilver, without words mo', and do therewith as ye have done ere this, with that other which that now silver is." The priest him busied all that e'en he can, to do as this canon, this cursed man, commanded him, And fast he blew the fire, For to come to the effect of his desire. And this canon, right in the meanwhile, All ready was this priest eft to beguile, And for a countenance in his hand bare All hallow stick, take keep and beware. Of silver limaile put was, as before, Was in his coal, and stopped with wax well, For to keep in his limaile every deal. And while this priest was in his business, This canon with his stick gan him dress, To him anon, and his powder cast in, As he did erst, the devil out of his skin him turn. I pray to God for his false head, For he was ever false in thought and deed. And with his stick, above the crosslet, That was ordained with that false get, He stirred the coals, till rinnet gan The wax against the fire, as every man. But he a fool be, knows well it must need, And all that in the stick was out yede, And in the crosslet hastily it fell. Now, good sirs, what will ye bet then well? When that this priest was thus beguiled again, Supposing naught but truth, sooth to sayn, He was so glad, that I can not express In no manner his mirth and his gladness. And to the canon he proffered eftsoon body and good. "Yea," quoth the canon soon, "though poor I be, crafty thou shalt me find. I warn thee well, yet is there more behind." "Is any copper here within?" said he. "Yea, sir," the priest said, "I trow there be. Else go buy us some, and that has swithe. Now, good sir, go forth thy way and hie thee." He went his way, and with the copper came, And this canon it in his hands name, And of that copper weighed out an ounce, Too simple is my tongue to pronounce. As minister of my wit, the doubleness Of this canon, root of all cursedness, He friendly seemed to them that knew him not, But he was fiendly both in work and thought. It wearieth me to tell of his falseness, And natheless yet will I it express, To that intent men may beware thereby. And for none other cause truly, He put this copper in the crosslet, And on the fire as swithe he hath it set, And casted powder, and made the priest to blow, And in his working for to stoop low, As he did erst, and all was but a jap. Right as him list the priest he made his ape, And afterward in the ingot as he cast, And in the pan he put it at the last Of water, and in he put his own hand, And in his sleeve, as ye beforehand Heard him tell, he had a silver tein. He silly took it out, this cursed heen, Unweeting this priest of his false craft, And in the pan's bottom he it laughed, And in the water rumbleth to and fro, And wondrous privily took up also The copper tein, not knowing thilke priest, And hid it, and him hent by the breast, And to him spake, and thus said in his game, "Stoop now adown, by God, ye be't to blame. Help me now, as I did you will. Put in your hand, and look what is there." This priest took up this silver tein anon, And then said the canon, "Let us gon With these 3 teins which that we have wrought To some goldsmith, and weet if they be aught. For by my faith I would not for my hood, But if they were silver fine and good, And that as swith well proved shall it be." Unto the goldsmith with these teins 3 They went anon, and put them in assay. To fire and hammer might no man say nay, But that they weren as ought to be. This sotted priest, who gladder was than he? Was never bird gladder against the day, Nor nightingale in the season of May? Was never none that better list to sing, Nor lady lustier in carolling, Or for to speak of love and womanhead, Nor knight in arms to do a hardy deed, To stand in grace of his lady dear, Than had this priest his craft for to lear. And to the canon thus he spake and said, "For love of God, that for us all died, And as I may deserve it unto you, What shall this receipt cost? Tell me now." "By Our Lady," quoth this canon, "it is dear. I warn you well, that save I and Frere, In England there can no man it make." "No forth?" quoth he. "Now, sir, for God's sake, what shall I pay? Tell me, I you pray." "Ye wise," quoth he, "it is full dear, I say. Sir, at one word, if that you list it have, Ye shall pay 40 pounds, so God me save, And near the friendship that ye did there thus, To me ye should pay more ye was." This priest the sum of 40 pound anon Of nobles fet, and took them every one To this canon for this ilk receipt. and all his working was but fraud and deceit. "Sir priest," he said, "I keep to have no loss of my craft, for I would it were kept close. And as ye love me, keep it for if men known all my subtlety, by God, they would have so great envy. To me, because of my philosophy, I should be dead. There were no other way." "God it forbid," quoth the priest, "what ye say. Yet had I lever spend all the good which that I have, and elsewhere I would, than that ye should fall in such mischief. For your good will, sir, have ye right would prefer," quoth the canon, "and farewell, grand mercy." He went his way, and never the priest him saw after that day. And when that this priest should make an essay, at such time as he would, of this receipt, farewell, it would not be. Lo, thus begypt and beguiled was he. Thus made he his introduction, to bring folk to their destruction. Consider, sirs, how that in each estate betwixt men and gold there is debate, so far forth that unis is there none, this multiplying blent, so many a one, that in good faith I trow that it be the cause greatest of such scarcity. These philosophers speak so mistily in this craft that men cannot come thereby. For any wit that men have howadays, they may well chatter, as do these jays, but in their terms set their lust and pain. But to their purpose shall they ne'er attain. A man may lightly learn, if he have aught, to multiply, and bring his good to naught. Lo, such a lucre is the lusty game. A man's mirth it will turn all to grame, and empty also great and heavy purses, and make folk for to purchase curses of them that have thereto their good y-lent. O fie for shame, they that have been brent! Alas, can they not flee the fire's heat? Ye that it use, I read that ye it let, lest ye lose all, for better than never is late. Never to thrive were too long a date. Though ye prowl aye, ye shall it never find. Ye be as bold as is Bayard the blind, that blunders forth and peril casteth none. For he is as bold to run against a stone, as for to go beside it in the way. So fare ye that multiply, I say. If that your even cannot ye see aright, look that your mind lacketh not his sight. For though you look never so broad and stare, ye shall not win a mite of that chiff. But waste in all that ye may rape and rend, withdraw the fire, lest it too fast brenn. Meddle no more with that art, I mean, for if ye do, your thrift is gone full clean. And right as swith I will you tell here what philosophers say in this matter. Lo, thus saith Arnold of the New Town, as his rosary maketh mention. He saith right thus, without any lie: "There may no man Mercury mortify, but it be with his brother's knowledging." Lo, how that he, which first said this thing, of philosophers' father was Hermes, he saith, how that the dragon doubtless he dieth not, but if that he be slain with his brother. And this is for to sayn by the dragon Mercury, and none other, he understood, and brimstone by his brother, that out of Sol and Luna were ye draw. And therefore, said he, take heed to my Sol, let no man busy him this art to seech, but if that he the intention and speech of philosophers understand can, and if he do, he is a lewd man. For this science and this conning," quoth he, "is of the secret of secrets party. Also there was a disciple of Plato, that on a time said his master to, as his book Senior will bear witness, and this was his demand in soothfastness: Tell me the name of thilke privy stone. And Plato answered unto him anon: Take the stone that Titanos men name. Which is that? Quoth he. Magnesia is the same. Said Plato: Yea, sir, and is it thus? This is ignotum per ignotius. What is magnesia, good sir, I pray? It is a water that is made, I say, of the elements four, quoth Plato. Tell me the root, good sir, quoth he though, of that water, if that it be your will. Nay, nay, quoth Plato, certain that I knew. The philosophers sworn were every one that they should not discover it to none, nor in no book it write in no manner. For unto God it is so lief and dear, that he will not that it discovered be, but where it liketh to his deity, man for to inspire, and eke for to defend. Whom that he liketh, lo, this is the end. Then thus conclude I, since that God of heaven will not that these philosophers niven, how that a man shall come unto his stone, I read as for the best to let it gon. For whoso maketh God his adversary, as for to work any thing in contrary of his will, certes never shall he thrive, though that he multiply term of his life. And there a point, for ended is my tale. God send every good man boot of his bale. End of Canons Yeoman's Tale.
This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Thomas Hoover. The Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. Edited by D. Lang Purves. This reading is based on the book The Canterbury Tales and Other Poems. The original text contains poems by Chaucer and a lot of notes and explanations by the editor. To view these, please click on the Gutenberg eText link on the LibriVox catalog page of the Canterbury Tales. The Manciple's Tale, the Prologue. Weet ye not where there stands a little town, which that ye called is Bob up and down, under the Blee in Canterbury way? There gan our host for to jape and play, and said Sirs, what? Done is in the mire. Is there no man for prayer nor for hire that will awaken our fellow behind? A thief might full rob and bind. See how he nappeth, see, for cock's bones, as he would fall from his horse at once. Is that a cook of London, with mischance? Do him come forth, he knoweth his penance, for he shall tell a tale by my fay, although it be not worth a bottle of hay. Awake, thou cook, quoth he. God give thee sorrow. What aileth thee to sleep by the morrow? Hast thou had fleas all night, or art drunk? Or had thou with some queen all night y swunk, so that thou mayst not hold up thine head? The cook, that was full pale and nothing red, said to the host, So God my soul bless, as there is fallen on me such heaviness, I know not why, that me were lever sleep than the best gallon wine that is in cheap. Well, quoth the Manciple, if it may do ease to thee, Sir Cook, and to no wight displease which that here rideth in this company, and that our host will of his courtesy, I will as now excuse thee of thy tale. For in good faith thy visage is full pale, thine eye in daze, soothly as me thinketh, and well I wot, thy breath full sour as stinketh, that showeth well thou art not well disposed. Of me certain thou shalt not be y-glossed. See how he yawneth. Lo, this drunken wight, as though he would us swallow anon right. Hold close thy mouth, man, by thy father's kin. The devil of hell set his foot therein. Thy cursed breath infect will us all. Fly, stinking swine, fly. Foul may thee befall. Take heed, sirs, of this lusty man. Now, sweet sir, will ye joust at the fan? Thereto me thinketh ye be well ye shape. I trow that ye have drunken wine of ape, and that is when men play with a straw. And with this speech the cook waxed all raw, and on the Manciple he gan nod fast for lack of speech, and down his horse him cast, whereas he lay, till that men him uptook. This was a fair chevachie of a cook. Alas, that he held him by his ladle, and ere that he again were in the saddle, there was great shoving both to and fro to lift him up, and much care and woe, so unwieldy was the silly paled ghost. And to the Manciple then spake our host, Cause that drink hath domination upon this man, by my salvation I trow he lewdly will tell his tale. For were it wine, or old or moisty ale, that he hath drunk, he speaketh in his nose, and sneezeth fast, and eke he hath a pose, he also hath to do more than enough to keep him on his capel out of the slough. And if he fall from off his capel eftsoon, then shall we all have enough to doen in lifting up his heavy drunken course. Tell on thy tale, of him I make no force. But yet, Manciple, in faith thou art too nice thus openly to reprove him of his vice. Another day he will peradventure reclaim thee, and bring thee to the lore. I mean he speak a will of smalle things, as for to pinchen at thy reckonings, that were not honest if it came to prafe. Quoth the Manciple, that were a great mischief, so might he lightly bring me in the snare. Yet had I lever pay for the mare which he rides on, than he should with me strive. I will not wrathe him, so may I thrive. That I spake, I said it in my boord. And weet ye what? I have here in my gourd a draught of wine, yea, of a ripe grape, and right anon ye shall see a good jape. This cook shall drink thereof, if that I may. On pain of my life he will not say nay. And certainly, to tell it as it was, of this vessel the cook drank fast. Alas, what he needed it, he drank enough before. And when he had pooped in his horn, to the Manciple he took the gourd again, and of that drink the cook was wondrous fain, and thanked him in such wise as he could. Then gan our host to laugh a wondrous loud, and said, I see well it is necessary where that we go good drink with us to carry, for that will turn rancor and disease to accord and love, and many a wrong appease. O Bacchus, Bacchus, blessed be thy names, that so canst turn an earnest into game. Worship and thank be to thy deity. Of that matter ye get no more of me. Tell on thy tale, Manciple, I thee pray. Well, sir, quoth he, now hearken what I say. The Manciple's Tale. When Phoebus dwelled here in earth adown, as olde bookes make mention, he was the most lusty bachelor of all this world, and eke the best archer. He slew Python the serpent as he lay sleeping against the sun upon a day, and many another noble worthy deed he with his bow wrought, as men may read. Playen he could on every minstrelsy, and singe that it was a melody to hearen of his clear voice the sun. Certes, the king of Thebes, Amphion, that with his singing walled the city, could never sing half so well as he. Thereto he was the seemlieste man that is, or was since that the world began. What needeth it his features to describe? For in this world is none so fair alive. He was therewith full filled of gentleness, of honour, and of perfect worthiness. This Phoebus, that was flower of bachelory, as well in freedom as in chivalry, for his disport and sign eke of victory of Python, so as telleth thus the story, was wont to bear in his hand a bow. Now had this Phoebus in his house a crow, which in a cage he fostered many a day, and taught it speaken, as men teach a jay. White was this crow, as is a snow-white swan, and counterfeit the speech of every man he could, when he shoulde tell a tale. Therewith in all this world no nightingale ne could by 100,000 deal sing so wondrous merrily and well. Now had this Phoebus in his house a wife, which that he loved more than his life, and night and day did ever his diligence her for to please, and do her reverence, save only, if that I the sooth shall sayn, jealous he was, and would have kept her fain. For him were loth y japed for to be, and so is every wight in such degree. But all for naught, for it availeth naught. A good wife, that is clean of work and thought, should not be kept in none await certain, and truly the labour is in vain to keep a shrew, for it will not be. This hold I for a very nicety, to spill labour for to keep a wives. Thus written olde clerks in their lives. But now to purpose, as I first began. This worthy Phoebus did all that he can to please her, weening, through such pleasance, and for his manhood and his governance, that no man should have put him from her grace. But, God it wot, there may no man embrace as to distrain a thing which that nature hath naturally set in a creature. Take any bird, and put it in a cage, and do all thine intent and thy courage to foster it tenderly with meat and drink of all the dainties that thou canst bethink, and keep it all so cleanly as thou may. Although the cage of gold be never so gay, yet had this bird by 20,000-fold lever in a forest, both wild and cold, go eat worms in such wretchedness. For ever this bird will do his business, to escape out of the cage when that he may. His liberty the bird desireth aye. Let take a cat, and foster her with milk and tender flesh, and make her couch of silk, and let her see a mouse go by the wall. Anon she waveth milk and flesh and all, and every dainty that is in the house, such appetite hath she to eat the mouse. Lo, here hath kind her domination, and appetite flameth discretion. A she-wolf hath also a villain's kind, the lewdest wolf that she may find, or least of reputation, will she take in time when her lust to have a make. All these examples speak I by these men that be untrue, and nothing by women. For men have ever a liquorous appetite on lower things to perform their delight than on their wives, be they never so fair, never so true, nor so debonair. Flesh is so new-fangled with mischance, that we can in no thing have pleasance that sooneth unto virtue any while. This Phoebus, which that thought upon no guile, deceived was for all his jollity. For under him another had a she, a man of little reputation, not worth to Phoebus in comparison. The more harm is, it happens often so, of which there cometh much a harm and woe. And so befell, when Phoebus was absent, his wife anon hath for her leman sent. Her leman, certes that is a knavish speech. Forgive it me, and that I you beseech. The wise Plato saith, as ye may read, the word must needs accord with the deed. If men shall tell properly a thing, the word must cousin be to the working. I am a boisterous man, right thus I say. There is no difference truly betwixt a wife that is of high degree, if of her body dishonest she be, and any poor wench, other than this, if it so be they work both amiss. But for the gentle is in estate above, she shall be called his lady and his love. And for that other is a poor woman, she shall be called his wench and his leman. And God it wot, mine owen dear brother, men lay the one as low as lies the other. Right so betwixt a titulous tyrant and an outlaw, or else a thief errant. The same I say, there is no difference. To Alexander told was this sentence. But for the tyrant is of greater might, by force of mine for to slay downright, and burn both house and home, and make all plain. Lo therefore is he called a capitaine. For the outlaw hath but small mind, and may not do so great as harm as he, nor bring a country to so great mischief. Men call him an outlaw or a thief. But for I am a man not textual, I will not tell of text never a deal. I will go to my tale as I began. When Phoebus' wife had sent him for her leman, anon they wrought in all their lust volage. The white crow that hung aye in the cage beheld their work, and said never a word. And when that home was come Phoebus the lord, the crow sung cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. What, bird, quoth Phoebus, what song singest thou now? Wert thou not wont so merrily to sing, that to my heart it was a rejoicing to hear thy voice? Alas, what song is this? By God, quoth he, I sing not amiss, Phoebus, quoth he, for all thy worthiness, for all thy beauty, and all thy gentleness, for all thy song and all thy minstrelsy, for all thy waiting, bleared is thine eye with one of little reputation. Not worth to thee is in comparison the mountenance of a gnat. So may I thrive, for on thy bed thy wife I saw him swive. What will ye more? The crow told him anon, by sad tokens and by words bold, how that his wife had done her lechery, to his great shame and his great villainy, and told him oft, he saw it with his eyen. This Phoebus gan a wayward for to Ryan, him thought his wilful heart to burst in two. His bow he bent, and set therein a flow, and in his ire he hath his wife slain. This is the effect, there is no more to sayn. For sorrow of which he brake his minstrelsy, both heart and lute, gittern and psaltery, and eke he brake his arrows and his bow, and after that thus spake he to the crow. Traitor, quoth he, with tongue of scorpion thou hast me brought to my confusion. Alas, that I was wrought! Why ne'er I dead? O deare wife, O gem of lusty head, thou wert to me so sad, and eke so true. Now liest thou dead, with face pale of hue, full guiltless, that durst I swear, O eyes, of rackle hand to do foul amiss. O troubled wit, O ire reckless, thou inadvised smitest the guiltless. O wantrust, full of false suspicion, where was thy wit and thy discretion? O every man beware of rackleness, no trow no thing without a strong witness. Smite not too soon, ere that ye weet a why, and be advised well and sickerly, ere ye do any execution upon your ire for suspicion. Alas, 1,000 folk hath rackle ire foully fordone, and brought them in the mire. Alas, for sorrow I will myself slee, and to the crow, O false thief, said he, I will thee quite anon thy false tale. thou sung whilom like any nightingale. Now shalt thou, false thief, thy song forgone, and eke thy white feathers every one, nor ever in all thy life shalt thou speak. Thus shall men on a traitor be awreak. Thou and thine offspring ever shall be blake, nor ever sweet a noise shall ye make, but ever cry against the tempest and the rain, in token that through thee my wife is slain. And to the crow he start, and that anon he pulled his white feathers every one, and made him black, and reft him all his song, and eke his speech, and out at door him flung unto the devil, which I him betake. And for this cause be all crows blake. Lordings, by this ensample I you pray, beware, and take heep what that ye say. Nor telle never man in all your life how that another man hath dight his wife. He will you hate mortally certain. Dan Solomon, as wise clerk is saying, teacheth a man to keep his tongue well. But, as I said, I am not textual. But natheless, thus taught to me my dame, my son, think on a crow, in Godde's name. My son, keep well thy tongue, and keep thy friend. A wicked tongue is worse than a fiend. My sonne, from a fiend men may them bless. My son, God of his endless goodness walled a tongue with teeth, and lips eke, for man should him advise what he speak. My son, full often for too much a speech hath many a man been spilt, as clerkes teach. But for a little speech advisedly is no man shent, to speak generally. My son, thy tongue shouldest thou restrain at all a time, but when thou dost, thou pain to speak of God and honour and prayere. The firste virtue, son, if thou wilt lear, is to restrain and keep well thy tongue. Thus learne children when that they be young. My son, of much a speaking evil advised, where less a speaking had enough sufficed, cometh much harm. Thus was me told and taught, and much a speech a sinne wanteth not. Wast thou whereof a rackled tongue serveth? Right as a sword forcutteth and forcarveth an arm in two, my dear son. Right so a tongue cutteth friendship all in two. A jangler is to God abominable. Read Solomon, so wise and honourable. Read David in his psalms, and read Seneca. My sons, speak not, but with thine head thou beck. Dissemble as thou wert deaf, if that thou hear a jangler speak of perilous mattere. The Fleming saith, and learn if that thee lest, that little jangling causeth much arrest. My son, if thou no wicked word hast said, thee are not dreade for to be bewrayed. But he that hath missaid, I dare well sayn, he may by no way call his word again. Thing that is said, and forth it goeth. Though him repent, or be he ne'er so loth, he is his thrall to whom that he hath said a tale, of which he is now evil apaid. My son, beware, and be no author new of tidings, whether they be false or true. Whereso thou come, among us high or low, keep well thy tongue, and think upon the crow. End of the Manciple's tale.
Hello. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. I am sorry about the audio. I decided to go last minute without my headphones on, and apparently I didn't set it up quite right and a bit echoey. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. And hi, honey. Yay. And I'm so sorry I didn't have I had captured all. I didn't notice that I wasn't doing anything on screen. I was actually playing in Blender most of the time, and for whatever reason, it was picking up, well, I know what happened. I captured the window instead of the display, and, hi, Angie. Yeah, it was, I didn't even notice until I almost all the way through. So you can see what I was doing most of the time, but I was actually doing stuff, just so you know. I wasn't sitting there doing nothing. Darn it. Oh well. I guess that's what happens when you don't actually watch it. I'm apparently yawning. Need more coffee. I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful night, and Sunday will be the rest of... Sunday will be the rest. It will be... The Parson's Tale on Sunday. Robert Foster is reading, and Pre-Siege Stage Hosters. And it's just a few minutes, should be around an hour. The Pre-Siege Stage Hosters, I don't know, it's the end of the book. It's the last kind of the final chapter sort of thing. It's just a short post-log, I guess. I don't know. And that's about it. So thanks, guys, for coming by. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Good night. Bye.